two suspects had their backs against the marked wall. Under the hot lights, they looked about as ugly as a draft notice on a honeymoon.
What do you think, Steward?
They look like the men, Lieutenant.
We didn't do nothing.
This is the fray.
On you guys, it looks good. What do you want to do, live forever? Now, Stewart, these guys are Willie the Knife Foster and Bloody Bob Ferguson. They've been indicted on 3 kidnap raps, but always managed to get off. Now, if you recognize them, you're an eyewitness, and they're cooked.
Well, tell the big one to say, get him, Bob.
Say it, Bob.
What for?
For the sake of your dear old mother in Alcatraz.
Never mind what for. Say it.
Get him, Bob.
Now the other.
You heard him, Ferguson.
Get him, Bob.
That's the man, Lieutenant. I'm sure of it. Let me get my hands on him. I'll kill him.
Now, Stewart, calm down. State of New York will take care of them.
This is a lousy frame. You can't pin this on us. He was babysitting that night.
Okay, lock him up, Otis.
Right.
Book him on suspicion of murder. Stewart, come into my office. I want to get your statement.
After getting his statement, Walt told Stewart the case was closed. We congratulated each other and shook hands all around. Then Stewart walked out. We gave him enough time to get into his car and start away. A moment later, Walt and I jumped into an unmarked police car and played Follow the Leader.
Rick, this case turned right side up too quick to suit me. What made you tag Stewart and plant your actor friends in the lineup?
Walt, the trouble with you is that you're too modest. You set an airtight man trap for 2 unknown kidnappers and then blame yourself because the net came up empty.
Well, he had you fooled, too.
That's true. I'm ashamed to admit. But Stewart had a good plan. He kidnaps the lady himself, sends Diane a phony ransom note. Then, with a reputable private detective present, that's me, he gets the $50,000 and even bops himself on the head to make it look kosher.
You'd have made a perfect alibi for him, Rick. But where did the old lady's body come from?
Oh, he probably had it in the car trunk when we drove into the park the night of the supposed payoff.
Hey, he's turning at the park.
Mm-hmm. Soon comes the part we don't know yet.
We should have nabbed him back at the station. I'd like to sweat him for a few hours.
On what? The identification? So he claims it was a mistake. Could happen. The jury would think so. No, Walt. He's put on too big an act to fold under questioning. He's been acting ever since he made Diane believe he loved her, just to gain Martha Campbell's confidence.
He's parking up ahead.
Yeah. Now let him answer the $50,000 question. And where did he hide it?
He's heading toward that same grove of trees.
We took off at a fast trot until we reached a hedge not too far from where we expected to find Stewart. We saw him all right. He was standing around right under the same tree he'd led me to a couple of nights back. A family of picnickers were close by, so he was acting like a guy out for some air. We ducked behind the hedge to watch, though I had to hold Walt back a few times. Finally, Stewart tipped his hand. He reached up past the nest of my sparrow friend into a hollow of the tree. It wasn't eggs he was after. The stuff he pulled out had that fascinating color known as currency green.
That's enough for me, Rick. Okay, Stewart.
Duck, Walt. Are you hurt, Walt?
Yeah, one of his shots creased my shin. Hurts like blazes, though. Let's get that guy.
He's running for the zoo. I'll get him, Walt. Put a tourniquet around your neck and sit tight.
Oh, watch out for the crowd, Rick.
What the shooting did to that crowd, a skunk couldn't do in a bargain basement. They suddenly decided there was no place like home. Stewart was dodging between the animal cages now and still using his gun to discourage me. I sprinted after him, but he disappeared. That bullet went right through my only hat, but I saw him now. He was climbing along the rock barrier that backed up the bear pits. He made a lousy target because those jagged rocks and overhanging ledges gave him plenty of cover. He was trying to reach the road on the other side, and if I didn't do something about it, exit Mr. Stewart. I took aim. My shot clipped a hunk of rock just as he was reaching for it. Stewart pulled back too quickly and tried to step on some air, which never does work too well. He went over and down. He never hit the ground because down in that pit, waiting for him with open arms, was a giant polar bear that had never forgiven the man who brought him from Alaska to New York.
glad you and Helen could make it to the cast party.
Thanks, Bob. Thanks also for the great acting job you and Willie pulled off at police headquarters.
Anytime, Rick. Glad to help out.
Yeah, that's a nice tune. Is that a song for the show?
No, just fooling around. After a show flops, there's nothing like a little get-together to bolster one's spirits.
Well, I certainly like the taste of your bolster. Thanks. I'll mix myself another later.